Hey, what's up guys, it's Fossil here. Welcome back to Drive Insight, where I bring you the latest updates and tips on road safety every week. And in this video I'll be covering how we should be using the emergency refuge area and the hard shoulder. So especially with the all running lane smart motorways now, there is no hard shoulder, you only have small limited space, and it's very important we understand how to use that. So please watch this video till the very end, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on the future content. So let's look at when you need to stop in case of emergency but you really can't make it safely to another junction or the service station. So what you need to do, Highways England recommend that if possible the best option is to actually come off the network and you know, just get off the motorway, or basically just get to a service station. That's the best option they recommend. But hey, if it's not possible to do that, you need to stop in an emergency area. Okay, now please remember that the emergency refuge area or the hard shoulder, that is the most dangerous piece of the motorway we have. So we need to be using that properly, and it's very important we do that and we leave that space for the people who really need it. Now what's happening now, there are limited space and some people are just going in there when they really shouldn't be, and that is creating danger for the people who actually need it. You only have limited space, couple of emergency refuge area within a mile, so please you know, do leave that space for the people who need it. If you don't need it, you know, then if you can make it to a service station, that's probably the best option for you. Okay, so what should you do in an emergency situation? So let's say you have to stop or pull into an emergency refuge area. If you have gone in there, of course with your indicators you go in there, and then what you do is you put your hazard warning lights on. Now before you turn the engine off, make sure you steer towards the left, so that in the unlikely event if somebody does, you know, make a mistake and come and hit your vehicle, you're not going to be pushed into the live lane. So make sure you steer towards the left before you turn your engine off. And also try to get out on the left hand side through the passenger side, so that you know, it's a lot more safer that way. You don't want to be coming out of your side of the road, so try and get out from the passenger side. Okay, and then now of course use the emergency telephone, the SOS telephone that it's available. You know, pick them up and you know, it's going to go direct to the regional control center. Get contact them through the SOS emergency telephone. And of course now the next thing you need to do is, you know, stay on the other side of the barrier, climb over the barrier and get onto the verge. That is the safest place for you in case of emergency. Please do not make the fatal mistake by staying inside your vehicle or hanging around on the emergency area. There have been a number of incidents, fatalities. A couple of years ago, 2 incidents happened. An 18-year-old girl, she was on the M25 on Surrey, was standing in front of a vehicle, a lorry came, hit her vehicle, and she was killed with her own vehicle been crashing onto her. On the same day on the M25 in the Midlands, another gentleman at his age, he was around 50, did exactly the same mistake, standing outside front of his vehicle, and he also got killed in that way. So please get onto the verge. Now let's say you are on a live lane and you're stranded now, so your vehicle has broken down. What do you do in this case? Highways England are saying that if you do get stranded in a live lane, no need to panic, switch your hazard warning lights on, and also stay inside the vehicle with your seatbelt on. Okay, don't try to get out of the vehicle, because as the vehicle started to slow down and came to a stop, the sensors on the smart motorways have already picked up the message, and what has already been happening behind you. Before you know it, the speed limit have been restricted, the lanes behind you has been closed. So Highways England, remember, these 24 hours a day the operatives are watching us, so basically what they have done, have already diverted people out of that lane and closed that lane behind you. So just have faith in them, stay inside that vehicle with your seatbelt on in the unlikely event if somebody does come and hit you. Remember, the speed limit has been reduced. So don't panic, stay in there, and also before you know it, Highways England officers will be around your vehicle, so they will be coming as soon as these things happen. They're on the road. They have about 32 small units where they're standby, so please, stay in your vehicle. Don't try to make a point of getting out of that vehicle. Okay, and please remember, if you do use an emergency refuge area, because it's a tiny small space, there is no way that you're going to build up your speed out of that emergency refuge area. So you will see a notice next to the telephone where it says before rejoining, if your vehicle is now drivable for whatever reason, you have to get back onto the motorway, don't make the decision by yourself. Okay, you will have to pick up that telephone and get advice from Highways England, because it clearly says you must contact Highways England and get their advice before you move off. So pick up that telephone and they will give you the best advice. What they're going to do in this case is basically close lane number 1 and pull it back for you as the hard shoulder. Everybody will be asked to move out of lane number 1. Speed limit will be reduced, and you can now safely build up your speed. Once you have done that, you got on with it, then the traffic and the speed will go back to normal for other road users. Okay, so you must pick up that telephone. Okay, now that's all I have for you today. On the next video, I'm going to be talking about how to deal with blue light. So please, watch out for that video on the next week. And until I meet you again, so please use the road safely, especially the emergency refuge area and the hard shoulder. Okay, if you got value out of this video, please don't forget to subscribe. If you have already subscribed to my channel, thank you very much, I really appreciate that. And don't forget to share this video, like and comment, and I'll see you next week. Thank you for now.